Might be a slip here from Hagelin. Still trying to get him from Rui Diaz. Shouts for a foul.
King it on. Not clear yet. Juzviak swing and a miss. Shinyashiki on it. Penalty given.
Welcome to Instant Replay, where we take a closer look at all the controversial refereeing calls in Major League Soccer you can watch on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and YouTube. I'm Andrew Wiebe with my new partner in refereeing, Christina Unkel. Yeah, she's done it at the FIFA level. No big deal. All right, Christina, one more try here. 2 words.
It's 3. Let's do this.
No, let's go, but good try. We'll get it in match day 4. Match day 3 starts in Cincinnati, Seattle in town, 60th minute. Little ball over the top. Training ground routine. Nick Hagglund. Is that a handball? Referee Joe Dickerson says no. VAR David Berry does not recommend review, but boy, you should see my mentions. Sounders fans are saying, what is going on here? That's a handball. That should be a penalty. Christina, what do you think?
This one's a tough one. So taking a look at it, as the VAR, you are checking it. David Berry is checking it, but there is no conclusive angle. Did it hit his hand or did it hit his head? And because there's no conclusive angle that tells you definitively that it hit his hand, we have to let the decision on the field remain, which is no handling.
Yeah, my spidey sense is going off when I see this, when I watch the replays. Nick Hagglund has his arms up. They're over his head. They're draped on top of Yaimar's head, it seems. If this hits his arm, it is a handball, period. But I do not know with 100% certainty that it did hit his arm. There is a part of me that thinks, based on the angles, it hit Yaimar's head. And if that's the case, I agree with you. David Berry cannot send this down to Joe Dickerson. The call on the field would have to stand, no matter how many Sounders fans are upset about it. All right, but Sounders fans weren't that upset in the 81st minute. Hagglund, he's off, he gone. DOGSO pulls down Raul Rui Diaz. He had a great explainer on this on MLS 360 on Season Pass. Christina, walk us through it. Why is this DOGSO?
So the ultimate decision was correct. This needed to be DOGSO for denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, red card. If you take the snapshot at the wrong time, you would come out with the same answer, a stopping promising attack yellow. However, you need to freeze that snapshot when Rui Diaz is fouled by Hagglund. At that moment, freeze it. You need to determine whether or not Miazga can materially defend. The recovering defender actually have a material defense there. When you take that snapshot, I like to use a but-for analysis. But for Hagglund fouling Rui Diaz, will Rui Diaz have an obvious goal-scoring opportunity shot on that and not be meaningfully defended? The answer is yes. I agree with the referee crew here. That had to be a red card. Good recommendation.
Completely agree with you, Christina. My first instinct was to say yellow, stopping a promising attack, but when you do take that snapshot, you see Miazga is not going to stop a 1v1 shooting opportunity by Raul Rui Diaz, and we know how dangerous those are. That's an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. All right, 90th minute, Sounders think they get the equalizer. Yaimar, dunk header at the back post, but rewind it back to the APP. Yeah, you know me. I'm taking a close look at what Yaimar's doing here. And he's swiping, he's grabbing, he's getting faced with the hand. He takes down Mosquera. And folks, that is a foul. Even Brian Schmetzer said so. He said he didn't even celebrate this goal because he knew it was coming back. Well done to the referee crew for spotting that one and making sure the call is correct. Quick one that some Toronto FC folks sent to us, that Jimmy Medranda equalizer. Should it have stood because it was flagged offside originally, then it went to video review and was reversed. The VAR on this one is Jair Marufo, and I agree with Jair Marufo. If you look at this closely, you can see that Medranda, based on the grass lines on the field, is just in an onside position. I think this is a good use of video review. Let's change games here. Charlotte, Atlanta. 29th minute. Brooks Lennon, back it up. He's got the derriere into Kamil Jozwiak. So, Christina, this is a very interesting one because that first angle replay on this makes it look like Brooks Lennon gets in there and actually throws his booty out, like pushes into Jozwiak, initiates the contact. And that's really what we're looking for here, right? It's not just that he moved into the space, it's that he's initiating contact into Jozwiak, and he is the reason why the winger for Charlotte fell down in the moment. Now, the first angle shows that to me. I see it. The problem is the other angles, including back from the end line, don't really show that. So I'm in a weird position here. I understand why Drew Fisher called down to Elfath. For me, if we're saying preferred outcome, what we want to see happen in this situation, it's not a penalty. He whiffed. He's not going to score. He's not in a position to do anything on the attacking side of the ball. He just fell down with a little bit of contact. The flip side is, I'm not certain it's clear and obvious, the threshold it needs to meet to review, that this wasn't a foul given that little pushback by Lennon and the contact. What do you think?
So that is where the debate really should be, is this a clear and obvious error? I think you will have conversations with some of the VARs who might have said, because yes, there is contact, they would check completed and leave it alone. But what people need to realize and understand here is that you have a World Cup FIFA referee in the center, Ismail Elfat, and the VAR is a World Cup VAR, Drew Fisher. They've just left the World Cup, and they are on the same standard when it comes to FIFA in the sense that the preferred decision is what they're looking for. For them, that is a clear and obvious error, and that's why the recommendation was sent down and taken. But I think that's really where the debate is, but I like this because it's easier to defend no penalty than penalty.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think, as I said, what I would prefer is no penalty. That's what they got. No controversy for me on this one, unless you're a Charlotte supporter, player, or manager. To the banks of the Delaware we go. Philly, Chicago. We start in the 17th minute. Kai Kamara scores a goal that's ruled offside by the AR, Catherine Nesbitt. Flag goes up, and look at the line right here. Kai Kamara's left foot is further forward, further toward goal than Olivia Mbaizo's. It's very, very close, but I think Nesbitt got this one right. We keep it rolling. Gaston Jimenez gets a piece of Jose Martinez, and Jose Martinez is saying, hey, that's my neck, referee. Sorry, Jose, I don't see that. There's no violent conduct here. Arm doesn't go up. Elbow doesn't go up. It's a little bit of a shoulder barge. To me, it could be a yellow card for a reckless play, but it's definitely not violent conduct. Now, let's go to a red card play. We start with the context at the end of the first half. Again, Jose Martinez, he's always in the middle of things, and Fabian Herbers each get a yellow card for this coming together, Christina. Fair decision?
It is a fair decision. I mean, if you take a look at it, we have two Elks locking horns, pushing their heads together, and thankfully there was no rearing of the heads and any headbutts. But borderline, I like the yellow. You need to calm that down. We can't be doing that.
All right, 50th minute, beginning of the second half, Fabian Herbers sent off for his second yellow. What do you think of this decision by Guido Gonzalez Jr., Christina?
I like it. I think this is a good second yellow. Many of the reasons is yes, it's not. We're talking about point of contact. Is this studs into the shin? The answer is no. It's glancing on the side of the boot. But when we talk about a lunge, when we talk about speed, when you play it in full speed, right? When you talk about the timing of it, all of these different considerations, by timing meaning the frustration of the player's foul from when he lost the ball, etc. This needed to be a second yellow card in my opinion. And so I like this decision on the field by Guido Gonzalez.
I had zero doubts about this on Saturday night. Sunday comes around, I watch a few replays. I don't see very much contact on this play. I'm not saying it's not a yellow card, but I do see a world in which this is just a foul, and I don't see that many people arguing because I think Herbers turns his studs away. He's trying to pull out, and again, I just don't see that much contact. Am I onto something here, Christina, or are you just going to dismiss me out of hand?
No, I'm gonna kind of dismiss you out of hand, but I'm also gonna let you speak the voice of the people. But one of the biggest things also I forgot to mention was the fact that the ball is gone. It's such a late tackle that's what pushes it more into that second yellow red card, letting us say, yes, this is a yellow and enough for it to be a second yellow due to the gravity of it obviously being a red.
I have been dismissed. In stoppage time in the second half, Kai Kamara, second yellow. Can't really argue with this one. Kai, this is just a bad decision, and I think he knows it. He gets the knee into the Philly player. He is late. He's already on a yellow. That's reckless. Adios. 2 yellows. Red card for Kai. We go to our final 3 plays here. NYCFC, Miami. The blue side of New York won a penalty on this one in the 87th minute. What do you think, Christina?
From the referee's perspective, I can understand why he went for a corner kick, right? He's sitting there, he sees the contact, but the only question we're asking is, was there a toe poke and movement of the ball going out from corner kick? The behind the camera angle or the goal is the best camera angle. I do think he gets that toe out more, hits the ball, makes that contact, which is why this is not a penalty, and I prefer the corner kick decision on this one.
Completely agree. I think Mota gets the poke in there. All right, RSL Austin. Demir Krylock shown a red card by Alex Chilowitz, the referee. Caroline Chenard says, hold on, go back and look. Alex does. He takes the red back. Get a great explanation on MLS 360. Run it back, Christina.
Yes, and this one I really did appreciate. I can understand how maybe Chilowicz from his angle thinking that they're studs going into his shin. However, as soon as I saw that first replay and a second replay, I'm like, Carolan is going to be sending this down, knowing that there is no studs going into the shin, knowing that that's what Chilowicz is thinking and what he saw and what he's saying back to her on that. Great recommendation by Carolan to go and show that that's not truly going through the studs. If anything, it's glancing and giving him that second look at it so he can make a better decision.
Well done, and we end with this red card in San Jose. Stoppage time in the second half. Jamiro Montero is trying to play peacemaker, only this is not as peaceful as he'd like it to be. We don't get a replay till after the game is concluded, but you can see right here what happens. It's the push into the upper chest. The hand then comes up into the neck, and there is more than negligible force. That is then violent conduct on Jamiro Montero and a red card. Well done to the referee crew on this one for spotting it and getting it right. And big thanks to you, Christina, for joining me for Match Day 3. We'll see everybody in Match Day 4. Hit me up on social media with any play you want us to review. For our producer and editor this time around, Phil Levanco, I'm Andrew Wiebe. That's Christina Unkel. We'll see you next time.